Good afternoon, everyone. It is Thursday. It is the 2nd of May. And here's your legislative update. Since we last spoke, the House version of the Higher Ed Omnibus Bill has passed off the House floor. It was scheduled to be heard on Monday, but only after they finished transportation and public safety. Those two things took literally all day. So at around 1:48, more or less, 1:48 a.m., they introduced the House Higher Ed Bill and then moved to immediately table it and adjourn, which they did. They went home, got some sleep, came in the next day around 9:30, went into session, immediately adjourned, went into caucus, and came back at about 11 a.m. to hear the Higher Ed Bill. It was good. Representative Bernardy presented the bill very, very well, went through a handful of amendments, and then it passed somewhere in the, 72 to 57 range, something like that. I can check those vote totals. And so now we have both the Senate version and the House version through their respective houses, and the next step is conference committee. In a committee or a committee as large as Higher Ed, that warrants kind of a larger committee, typically 5 from the House, 5 from the Senate. Although it's completely up to the discretion of leadership, historically, the 5 is made up of 4 of the majority party and 1 of the minority party, if they did in fact vote for the bill when it went through its respective house. And so we did get committee makeup last night. Let me go through them really, really quickly. On the Senate side, you've got Senator Paul Anderson from Plymouth, Senator Rich Draheim from Madison Lake, Senator Scott Jensen from Chaska, Senator Jerry Relph from St. Cloud, and the one minority Democrat is Senator Greg Clausen from Apple Valley. Then in the House, you have Representative Connie Bernardy from New Brighton, Representative Laurie Pryor from Minnetonka, Representative Lien from Moorhead, Representative Ginny Klevorn from Plymouth, and then the one minority Republican is Representative Bud Nornes from Fergus Falls. Bud actually did not vote for the House version of Higher Ed, but he was the previous chair and has a seat on the committee. And then the House DFL leadership today had a press conference about where we're at with committees. The committees have been named. They have a deadline of budget targets for the committee on Monday the 6th. So that's really kind of early. That's sometimes one of the last things that happens. But so they are encouraging conference committees to meet throughout the weekend and reconcile some of the differences between the two bills, at least figure out where the starting positions of both houses are. And then we should be getting a kind of a public conference committee schedule relatively soon. So it's very possible that we'll see that. Today's Thursday, Friday maybe, or at least the first part of next week. So as soon as I know that, we'll pass that along to you as well. That conference committee, I'm going to go ahead and publish those members in the comments section or the notes description section of this video. I'll include their Twitter handles if you're on Twitter and you want to tweet out to them, simply encouraging them to support Min-State, support our colleges, support our students, support our faculty. If they are from your area, Plymouth, Madison Lake, Chaska, St. Cloud, Apple Valley, New Brighton, Minnetonka, Moorhead, Plymouth, Fergus Falls, if these are your representatives and your senators and you want to reach out to them, I encourage you to do that as well. We can still talk about the differential tuition situation. I think there's some movement on that, but it's always good to reiterate the impact that that'll have on our campuses. I think the funding is always, of course, key as we want to talk about getting closer to the House number than any other number. There's some textbook bills that we've talked about. I've heard from a lot of faculty about those textbook bills. Once again, the textbook language that exists in the House is good language. The textbook language is, there's at least 3 bills or 3 things in the Senate bill that speak to textbook that we don't really like. So if you do want to talk about textbooks, the House language is far better. Anyhow, I'll publish those in the description. As always, if you have questions, concerns, comments, go ahead and give me a call. What do I got again? 651 717-5450 or mark.grant@edmond.org. All right. Have a good week.